everyone, my name is Roya, and today I'm going to be doing the mid-year book Freakout tag. I will link the original video and the creator down below. I forget who that is at the moment, but anyway, that will be linked down below. This is a really fun tag that is super fun to do every year, and I'm just gonna get started after I introduce you guys to iPod. And I love her. The first question in this tag is the best book you've read so far in 2020. That has to be The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. I did just read that last month and I absolutely loved it. It became an insta-fave and I love it so much. The best sequel you've read so far in 2020, I have to go with The Life Below by Alexandra Monier. I haven't read a ton of sequels this year, but I've read a few, and really this one stands out to me because it blew the first one out of the water. I read them back to back and I loved the first book, but the second one was just even better somehow, and it was really, really good. The new release you haven't read but want to. So I do have to pick The Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu for this one. It basically involves somebody going to a world that is based on music and stuff, and so it just sounds really awesome. And it came out a few months ago, but I just have not been able to get to it yet. So the most anticipated release for the second half of the year is definitely going to have to be Darius the Great Deserves Better, which is the sequel to Darius the Great Is Not Okay, which I loved, so I'm really, really excited to read the sequel. This was originally going to be a standalone, so as soon as it was announced that there was going to be a sequel, I was like, no freaking way, so I'm really, really excited for that. Next question is, what is your biggest disappointment? And I would have to, I mean, I've had a few disappointing reads, but not all that many. But I think I will have to go with Crier's War by Nina Varela. It's not that this book was bad or anything, it's just that I really didn't like it for several reasons. And this is a book that a lot of people, a lot of booktubers I know, love the crap out of. And since it also has to do with two women falling in love, I was really excited to read it, and it just really fell flat for me. I was just not into this book. I don't know. There were several reasons why, and obviously I did talk about it in a wrap-up last month, so you can check that out for my specific reasons for why I didn't like it. The next question is, what is your biggest surprise? And I wouldn't necessarily say this is that much of a surprise, just because it's not like I necessarily go into a book not thinking I'll like it and end up loving it or anything like that. Normally I kind of know if I wouldn't like a book. Usually I don't think that I would not like a book and then read it anyway. But my answer to this is a book series that I did think was kind of cool. I thought it was going to be kind of cool. Like, I knew I would like it, but I didn't think I would be giving the whole series thus far 5 stars each. And that is the Hands of Destin series by J.C. Jarvis. I love this whole series. There are 3 books out so far. Actually, the 3rd one comes out really soon, and I got to read an arc of it. So anyway, I've read all 3 now, and they're all so good. The next question is favorite new author that you discovered this year, and I'm gonna have to go with Melissa Bouchard-Dust, the author of Girl Serpent Thorn. I don't know why, but she was never really on my radar before. I think she's written 1 book before this one, and even though she's an Iranian author, and I deliberately seek out Iranian authors because I'm Persian myself, but her previous book wasn't Persian inspired, so I didn't really even think that much about it, and I didn't really hear that much about it that was praising it or anything like that, so I didn't even really hear that much about it in general. So then when I heard about this book, I was really, really excited to read it because this is a Persian-inspired fantasy book, and I really want to see more of those because I love fantasy and I love Persian representation, so hooray! And so I was really, really lucky to get an arc of this book from an editor at the publishing house, and I was really, really glad. So I read it immediately and loved the crap out of it, so I will definitely be checking out more from this author, whether it's Persian-inspired or not. The next question is newest fictional crush, and I don't get crushes, fictional or really otherwise. So that's a really not relevant to me type of question. The next question is newest favorite character, and I probably, like, this is definitely a tough one because I don't think any single character has like really stood out far from the rest of them that I've read about this year, but I do really like Tamra from Race the Sands. I think she is such a badass. Book that made you cry. I don't actually think I have cried at a book yet this year, which for me is kind of amazing. Then book that made you happy. I do have to go with House in the Cerulean Sea again because I can't not. Like, there is no better answer than that one, even though I already mentioned it. Then the most beautiful book you've received is definitely Under the Pendulum Sun by Jeanette Ng. I mean, look at this cover. This is some serious art right here. Then the last question in this tag is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? So if you guys have been following my channel since the beginning of the year, you probably know that my main goal this year is to read as many of the books that I got last year and that I get this year as possible. So ideally by the end of the year, I don't want to have any books unread that I acquired this year. And because I only, whether they're sent to me for review or whether I bought them myself or whether they were given to me, I want to be reading them like as soon as I can. Whenever I get any new books, regardless of like what they are, how I got them. And so the book that I have had since the beginning of the year that I did get this year at the very beginning of the year that I still have not read is The Dark Forest by Cixin Liu. This is the sequel to The Three-Body Problem, which I read a couple of years ago. So I've been pretty good about reading all of the books that I've been acquiring this year for sure, but like there are a couple from the beginning of the year that I have not gotten to. Ancillary Justice is the other one that I actually have not gotten to that I've had since the very beginning of the year, which is funny because I'm really, really excited to get to this book. It's been like at the very top of the list. I've been like dying to read it and still haven't read it, so I don't know what is up with that. But anyway, those are my answers to the mid-year book freakout tag. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know in the comments what one book is that you want to read by the end of the year, and or what new release you are most looking forward to for the latter half of the year. And I will see you guys very soon with a new video. Bye!